Yo everybody, how's it going? Derek here. I want to announce what I'd like to do with my new channel, poetry every week. I really like to write poetry. I have for a long time. This first video, I'm gonna just kind of explain what my channel is, what I would like to do with it, um, and then kind of go into the background of when I started writing poetry and how I got into it, and some influences I have and what I like to write about, so that you can get a sense for what types of poetry will be showing up here in the near future. I got my start writing poetry in high school, and for a while now I've been trying to figure out what I can do for a YouTube channel that not a lot of people are doing. And I've only found a few channels that do poetry on a daily or weekly, monthly, yearly basis. There's some poetry stuff on there, but I feel like what I want to do is a little bit different. I want to grow an audience. I want interaction between me and my audience. Comments and things. If you want to post poems in the comments, that's fine. We all know now that Google Plus will let you put anything you want in the comment section. So, that would be nice. I could offer feedback and what I like about it or dislike. Just like I would like you to tell me exactly what you like or dislike about it, or what types of poetry you like, what you might want to hear in the future. So it's kind of what I want to do with my channel. Excuse me. So I started writing poetry in high school, right? I took a drama class. It was, well, actually, no, hang on. Back up. High school was 11 years ago, so actually I took an English class with the drama teacher, so that's kind of where I got it mixed up there. And one of our assignments towards the middle of the year was we started studying poetry and the different components that make up poetry and things. And then, we had to write some of our own poems. And so I was kind of forced into writing my first one, and I was pleasantly surprised. It came easy to me. It was easy for me to set my mind on something that I would like to express and put it out into words. And a lot of times when I first started writing poetry, I guess the thing that was the nicest was when I was writing the poems, it kind of came out as a story. And it came out very easily from my mind, out through my fingers and onto the paper. And even though I could find 20 things to criticize about it, most people that read it were kind of like pleasantly surprised me. And they liked it. They didn't have much anything to say bad about it. So from there I started writing on my own. I had feelings from girlfriends, from good feelings from when the relationship started to not so good feelings when the relationship ended, usually in some weirdly bad way. So most of my early poetry was mainly to do with more sad feelings than good feelings. And it had to do with relationships. So that's kind of how I got started, and I wrote a lot through my high school years. Um, Not so much into my college years. It's probably been a good year or two since I've really sat down and wrote a poem. Um, but I've had a lot of things happen to me since then. A lot of things happened in my younger years that I never wrote about. So that's kind of where this weekly thing's coming from. Is in high school I used to write a poem in a notebook, at least every week. I'd work on it for 3 or 4 days, and when it finally got to that point where I knew, okay, this is the end of the poem. It's just, it feels right. It's the end. Then, usually I found myself writing one, maybe two a week, depending on how much time I had, everything. So I'd like to get back into that, writing one a week, and what better way to do it than in front of an audience? I don't have many people right now that would really want to read my poetry, mainly because I lost track of most of my high school friends, and I live far away from them, so yeah, so I thought I would do this. So if that sounds like, something you would want to tune into, then you're more than welcome to. And like I said, I would love to hear feedback. I would love to hear your own poetry. I would love to hear anything that you want to put in the comment section. So, alright YouTube, hopefully we get something up here real soon. Okay. Later.